Summary of the Second Chance Year written by Melissa Wiesner. Chapter 1. December. The last year of Sadie's life unfolded like a dramatic episode of the Great British Bake Off, with each challenge leaving her metaphorically eliminated. If life were a competition, she'd be sent home on the first episode, a dismal performance in the signature challenge, a raw technical bake, and a showstopper that collapsed in a heap of gingerbread and shame. As New Year's Eve of her very bad year approached, all Sadie desired was a quiet evening on the couch with a bowl of buttercream icing and the Golden Girls for company. But her best friend, Kasumi, had different plans, determined to pull Sadie out of her rut. "Come on, Sadie, it will be fun," Kasumi urged, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Sadie, peeking out from under a well-worn ball cap, responded with a dry tone. "Nothing that starts with, 'Come on, it will be fun,' is ever fun." Undeterred, Kasumi confiscated the plaid blanket that Sadie had wrapped herself in, throwing it out of reach. "This will be, I promise." Her excitement was palpable. As Sadie half-heartedly attempted to reclaim her security blanket, Kasumi revealed the grand plans for the night. "My friend Devin rented an empty warehouse that he's turning into a giant New Year's Eve carnival. Picture acrobats hanging from the ceiling, magicians sawing people in half, and cotton candy cocktails. It will be epic." "You lost me at Carnival. You know how I feel about clowns," Sadie admitted, recalling an irrational childhood fear that still lingered. Kasumi, refusing to take no for an answer, painted a vivid picture of the festivities. "I'm worried about you, Sadie. You need to stop torturing yourself. Come to the party, it will get you out of this rut. And I'll splash it all over Instagram to show Alex that you're not sitting home wallowing." With a mix of reluctance and curiosity, Sadie agreed, only to be confronted with the next hurdle, the lack of a suitable outfit for a New Year's carnival costume party. Her recent downgrade from a pastry chef to a barista had left her wardrobe devoid of anything remotely festive. "I knew you'd say that," Kasumi said, producing a tote bag from behind the couch. She spilled its contents: a sparkly gold mini dress with a poofy A-line skirt, a cropped red blazer, and a sequined black top hat. The ensemble screamed carnival, but Sadie felt a pang of insecurity. A year ago, Sadie would have reveled in the idea of a carnival-themed party with an extravagant outfit. But recent events, particularly a falling out with her boss Xavier and a breakup with her boyfriend Alex, had left her questioning her choices. Her seemingly justified actions had cost her a job, a relationship, and, in the end, her stability. As Kasumi waved the sparkly frock in Jacob's direction, Sadie's brother's best friend and the owner of the apartment she was currently occupying, the narrative introduced an unexpected ally in Sadie's life. Despite their differences and the awkwardness of sharing space, Jacob had come to Sadie's rescue when she lost her apartment. Jacob, typically introverted and uptight, showed little interest in the carnival-themed party. However, Kasumi, with her matchmaking instincts, suggested that Jacob accompany them to protect Sadie from her clown-induced fears. The narrative shifted to Sadie's internal turmoil as she grappled with conflicting emotions about Jacob. Though once an awkward teenager, Jacob had transformed into a successful, independent individual. Kasumi's playful suggestion sparked an unexpected tension, and Sadie found herself contemplating Jacob's potential loneliness on New Year's Eve. As Sadie prepared to leave for the carnival, the story hinted at unresolved emotions and a sense of anticipation. The unexpected twists in her relationships and the prospect of a new beginning on New Year's Eve left Sadie on the cusp of change, ready to step into the uncertain territory of the carnival and, perhaps, into a new chapter of her life. The journey to the warehouse-turned-carnival was filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Sadie, donned in the sparkly ensemble, felt like a fish out of water. The air buzzed with the energy of acrobats soaring through the air and magicians wowing the crowd. Cotton candy cocktails added a whimsical touch to the festivities, and Sadie couldn't help but be drawn into the vibrant atmosphere. Despite her initial reservations, Sadie found herself enjoying the carnival. Kasumi's infectious enthusiasm and the sheer spectacle of the event pulled her out of the shadows of her past failures. The carousel of emotions that had defined her last year seemed to slow down as she spun around on the merry-go-round, letting go of the weight that had anchored her to the couch. As midnight approached, the crowd gathered for the countdown. Sadie couldn't escape a moment of reflection. The past year had been a storm of challenges and setbacks, but in the midst of the carnival's chaos, she felt a glimmer of hope for the future. The clock struck midnight, and fireworks lit up the night sky. Sadie, surrounded by the cheers of the crowd, embraced the new year with a renewed sense of optimism. The carnival, with all its extravagance, had become a metaphorical reset button for her life. In the midst of the celebration, Sadie noticed Jacob standing on the outskirts, observing the festivities with a hint of detachment. Kasumi, ever the matchmaker, nudged Sadie toward him, sensing a moment that needed closure. Approaching Jacob, Sadie felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. The awkwardness that had defined their interactions seemed to dissipate amidst the carnival's magic. As the clock struck midnight, Sadie and Jacob shared a moment, a glance that spoke volumes, transcending the complexities of the past year. The narrative, which had unfolded as a reflection on the challenges and tribulations of Sadie's life, now pivoted towards a sense of resolution and new beginnings. The carnival, with all its quirks and festivities, became a symbol of transformation. Sadie, with a newfound lightness in her step, realized that life's challenges were not the end but merely the ingredients for a new and unexpected recipe. As the carnival continued into the early hours of the morning, Sadie and Jacob found themselves engrossed in conversation. The barriers that had once separated them melted away, and the sparks of connection replaced the awkwardness that had lingered between them. The story, which began with Sadie's reluctance to step out of her comfort zone, evolved into a tale of resilience, self-discovery, and the unpredictable nature of human connections. The carnival, with its whimsy and chaos, served as the catalyst for Sadie's journey towards a brighter and more hopeful future. As the first light of the new year dawned, Sadie and Jacob, still immersed in the carnival's enchantment, realized that life's journey was an ongoing series of challenges and celebrations. The Great British Bake Off of Sadie's life had taken an unexpected turn, and the narrative unfolded with the promise of new chapters, unforeseen adventures, and the resilience to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 2. The carnival-themed warehouse pulsated with energy as Sadie found herself in the midst of a surreal and chaotic party. The buttered popcorn martini, a questionable choice in retrospect, weighed heavily on her stomach. In an attempt to escape the shadows of a very bad year, she had drowned her worries in 3 carnival cocktails, hoping that the alcohol would provide a respite. However, all it did was leave her feeling nauseated, a stark contrast to the vibrant revelry surrounding her. Kasumi, her vivacious friend, was lost in a dance with a shirtless, tattooed sword swallower, and Sadie couldn't help but feel a twinge of envy mixed with genuine happiness for her friend. She knew she should be out there, letting loose, perhaps shimmying against the strong man in the red leather bodysuit or indulging in the array of circus-themed baked goods. But an inexplicable force seemed to glue her to a makeshift bench on the leg of a giant fiberglass elephant installation, rendering her a mere spectator to the carnival of life. The warehouse, transformed into a carnival spectacle by Kasumi's friend Devon, showcased steel beams hidden behind red and white striped curtains that mimicked a circus tent. Acrobats, bedecked in sparkly leotards, twisted and turned on long silks suspended above the dance floor. A DJ, donned in a yellow cat ear headband and furry gloves, spun records from within an old-fashioned lion's cage on red-painted wheels. The entire scene was a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and movement. Sadie's introspective mood deepened as she sank into self-pity, grappling with the disparity between her current reality and the dreams she had harbored when she moved to New York. The cafe job and the rent-free spare bedroom at Jacob's felt like feeble consolation prizes compared to her lofty aspirations of becoming an executive pastry chef and owning a bakery. The disapproval of her parents, who had urged her to pursue a traditional college education rather than culinary school, echoed in her mind. Amidst the swirl of thoughts, a red-wigged clown emerged from behind the elephant's trunk, an unexpected intrusion into Sadie's contemplative solitude. The clown, with exaggerated gestures and an eerie smile, approached her. Panic surged through her as she recoiled, the elephant's rump serving as an unwilling barrier. The clown, undeterred, inched closer, mimicking a smile, and reached towards her. "I'll smile at you over my dead body," Sadie thought, her heart pounding as if set to the beat of the dance music that surrounded them. She backed away, glancing around for help, but the dark corner provided no refuge. Alone and cornered, the surreal possibility of her story, including her dead body, crossed her mind. The clown, relentless in its strange pursuit, inched closer, fingers wiggling in an unsettling manner. Sadie, frozen against the elephant's ass, weighed her options. Would screaming alert anyone? Could she overpower the clown if she fought back? The possibility of her demise seemed imminent, with thoughts ricocheting in her head. In a fortuitous turn of events, a couple strolled around the elephant's trunk. The taller man's arm casually draped around the shorter man's shoulder. Just as Sadie prepared to cry for help, her voice choked by fear, the shorter man stumbled and collided with the clown. Both men tumbled to the floor in a heap, providing Sadie the opportunity to break free. Without a moment's hesitation, she sprinted through the crowd, weaving through dancers until she reached the far end of the warehouse. Gasping for breath, she glanced over her shoulder, half expecting the clown to continue its pursuit. The pulsating strobe lights and swirling bodies on the dance floor disoriented her, leaving her unsure of the clown's whereabouts. Seeking a moment of respite, Sadie entered a purple and gold velvet tent that stood conspicuously in the corner. Leaning against a tent pole, she attempted to catch her breath and make sense of the bizarre sequence of events. It was in this moment of refuge that a deep voice intoned, "Well, hello there." Startled, she jumped, spinning around to face the source of the voice. In the far corner of the tent sat a tiny old woman in a scarlet and gold peasant dress, a matching scarf tied over her long graying hair. The table in front of her was covered in a gold cloth, with a crystal ball resting in the center. "And who are you?" the woman asked, her voice husky, a result of what sounded like decades of 2 packs a day. Sadie, still recovering from the clown-induced adrenaline rush, opened her mouth to answer when a realization halted her. "Wait, aren't you a fortune teller?" The woman nodded, acknowledging Sadie's observation. "If you're a fortune teller, shouldn't you already know who I am?" Sadie challenged, a flicker of skepticism in her eyes. The woman folded her hands on the table. "I'm a fortune teller, not a psychic. I need to consult the crystal ball." As if on cue, the crystal ball seemed to glow brighter, and Sadie blinked, momentarily questioning the reality of her surroundings. The woman then offered to tell Sadie's fortune, prompting an internal debate. The pragmatic part of her dismissed the idea as bogus, yet a fleeting curiosity lingered. What if someone had warned her about the terrible year she was about to face last December? Would knowing the future have altered her choices? Lost in contemplation, Sadie found herself accepting the offer, conceding to the whimsical notion that a fortune teller might hold the key to her desired escape from the struggles of the past year. The woman, with a twinkle in her eyes, agreed to grant Sadie one wish. However, she cautioned that meddling with the past seldom ended well. The prospect of altering the course of her life, of erasing the mistakes and misfortunes of the past year, enticed Sadie. With a shiver running up her spine, she questioned the consequences but, with determination, requested a do-over of the last year. The woman sighed deeply, as if burdened by the weight of Sadie's request, and slowly retrieved a wooden box from under the table. Opening it revealed a ceramic bowl and several small glass jars containing dried herbs in an array of colors. In a mesmerizing display, she tossed red, green, blue, and orange herbs into the bowl, grinding them into a maroon-colored powder with a pestle. The woman then poured the powder into a small cloth bag, creating an enchanting concoction. "Now," she instructed, "go to the bar and order a shot of vodka." Sadie wrinkled her nose at the thought of vodka. "I'm really more of a tequila kind of girl. Do you think I could?" "Silence." The woman cut her off with a commanding gesture. Sadie pressed her lips together, examining the bag of powder. An inkling of concern crept in. Was she supposed to ingest this mysterious potion with the vodka? The thought of someone slipping something into her drink crossed her mind, but a strange combination of tipsiness and desperation propelled her forward. "Order a shot of vodka," the woman repeated, and Sadie reluctantly complied. She stood at the bar,